Hey guys, Carnivore here. So we're going to go over my Archer battle group as voted by a couple people. So we'll take a look at all the runes and why I included them and the functionality of each thing. So first up we have Archer Commander. It's pretty obvious as to why you run this, but there is a nice interaction with Volley Leader that is, crucial in some matchups, specifically against Underdepths, because Volley Leader gives, your archers an AoE ability. Now it is only 50% of the damage. You could technically run more than one to get an extra rank of this, but I believe it only goes up to rank 2, so it wouldn't really make much of a difference because I think it's 50, 65, and then 80. So the 50% generally is okay with the archers because you are getting up to pretty high numbers with Honor Coin or just even Commander being on Archer Commander. You don't actually run Honor Coin in this BG, but the Commander on Archer Commander, as well as the Battle Master plus Banner, the numbers can get high enough that the 50% damage is relative. So against Arrow Eaters, you do have some sort of I guess attacking method against these champions. Pretty standard champion though. It's cheap enough. Move on. So we have Arrow Singer. Now, I do like to run AIM in the Archer BG as it's just more consistent damage. I guess Preparation is more of a meta choice. AIM is really good though. It is, as I said, more consistent. The +3 damage and +1 range is just super crucial, and it gets precision, so it goes through things like evasive. So for Voiles or something that have evasive on everything, this is just generally the better pick. You can run Illuminate or Burn, it doesn't really matter, but I think I like to run Burn just because with Fire of Effect it gives it rank 3, because this is only rank 2 I believe. Yes, Burn 2, so it goes up to rank 3 of Burn, which is really good. I'll change this one over as 2. I take Illuminate in other BGs, but it's just because it's a different BG. So, and then we have Avenging Angel, because this battle group just by nature does not have a lot of healing or frontline healing. Frontline champions that have healing as well. So Divine Favor 3 and Heal Champion 2. I always end up taking Heal Champion 2 if it's an option versus the 3, because you just get more widespread healing versus just like a 12 every 3 turns. I just like the spread out of 8. It is the same amount of healing over time, over the 6 rounds, but I just prefer having it spread out. Then we have the Bow Mage. He, is good with aim again, 4 to 6 range. So with Archer, the Archery Bale plus aim, it's at 4 to 8. You could run Covenant to get it to 4 to 9. Pretty big powerhouse with all the stacking again, 11 damage, and then 12 or 13 with Commander, and 15 with Boost, or 15 with Battlemaster, and then 16 with Banner. So this thing can attack pretty hard, and it has Illuminate, so it's shredding defense, and Imbue Stun is just a really good ability for locking down, specifically against SL or UD or anything that just doesn't have an active cleanse, or the cleanse is hard to cast. FS only has the Cleansing Mist spell, but generally they want to use it for something. This is just for kind of picking away at something and locking it down and killing it later, as archers are good at for pick and poke kind of deal. Centaur Savage is, as in the name, a fucking savage. This rune is crazy good with all of the damage bonuses. Piercing Shot is usually hitting for 24. Defensive Strike is just nasty with it having Strike on base as an upgrade rather, and with the Archery Bale, that's 4 to 7 range. So his threat is pretty ridiculous. It is a 2x2, but it really doesn't matter. And then you have to have some sort of tank, and Colossal Boa just fits this role as it's, hyper efficient. For 63 Nora, you get basically a tough 4 champion, or a 4 defense champion with Resilience. So DOTs don't generally work. It does have Lethargic, but again, this is just a frontline beater. It's super cheap, and it works really well. And then we have Condor Fury, just a more expensive option for a tank frontline beater. Again, Strike is just another good ability. This thing has Hunter Walker, so technically it's pseudo 4 defense if it's not flying. Has Lead Charge, which can be really crucial too. Initiative in the mid game is pretty good. Generally, you want to deploy this when they have 4 to 5 champions. 3 is okay, but anything less is kind of not worth. And then we have Deadly Tracker. I think this is the only source of detection that this BG actually has, so it's important to have it just at least once, as a one-time kind of deal. Logistics range is good, so this is generally you want to get this out first. It does have poison, so we do have a little bit of dot stacking mechanics with burn and poison. It has leap 3, so it's pretty mobile, and it gets up to 3 to 6 range with logistics, and then 3 to 7 with the archery bailout. It's not the most consistent hitter, but it's okay. It does its purpose. And for Elven Archer, if you have the Pox Harbinger, you are just better taking that over this, but this thing can hit pretty hard and from very far away. It's just, pretty simple champion. Again, we have another frontline beater. This has reflexes too, and melee specialist, so it can get fairly tanky in certain scenarios, and again, strike seems to be kind of a theme in this, so defense shredding through either illuminate or strike, just bypassing it all, and it has shatter. You could run Elven Artisan, but I just like to have more of a frontline tanking option, and it's super cheap. Elven Fury, again, just fitting this role of the front line. I need to get in your face. I'm not going to go anywhere but beat you down while my archers do all the hard work. It has bold assault, so we can get up to 7 defense, and it has fury, so this is really good, and spell resistance, so it's inherently tanky against certain factions that like to use spells like SL or UD or even ST in some circumstances, but that's a different topic. We have 2 copies of Elven Strategist because he's just insanely good in any battle group. I think this rune specifically, you can splash into literally any theme. It does not matter. It's just an amazing rune. Has pull. I like to run it with swap and pull. Generally, this is the preferred setup. Unless you're running centaurs, you would take relocate ally and teleport. And then I have Experimental War Spirit. Now, this rune, again, is the most splashable, one of the most splashable runes next to the Strategist, just because it is a counter all. It has Soul Strike, it has Ignorance, and Dispel. So it literally does everything that you want it to do in terms of getting rid of pesky abilities, or going through, say, Arrow Eater, or going through, some sort of immunity. This thing just does it all. And it's kind of tanky. It has Impervious once you have Destituous going. And then we have Ancestral Anger for a spell, for our spell slot, first spell slot, just because we are running all range mostly. So we need to have some sort of way to convert these range champions into melee. And if you use aim on the turn that you cast Ancestral Anger, your champion or your archer with aim will have 1 to 2 range at the end of it. And you can equip Covenant to get to 1 to 3, so you can have some sort of pseudo range if you still need the range, but you can convert to melee. Bullseye, this is just obviously makes sense. 50% more damage on the next basic attack, so this thing can hit pretty fucking hard. And it's only 35 Nora. If Carnivorous Finds, this spell is a great utility piece. It's a great lockdown piece against UD or SL. This thing just, does its job. You're not scared of cleanses. It just locks things down. We have Fire 4 effect. This is kind of like a power turn enabler with the gain 1 AP, and it grants burn to all archers. Again, this is kind of the same rule as Lead the Charge. You want to use it in the instance that you have 2 to 3 to 4 archers out. 2 being the worst, you don't really want to cast it then, but if you can get a kill with it, why not? But you want to get the most effect out of Fire 4 effect. And then you have Grimlock's Bane as a finishing spell. You could run 2 copies just because of how stupidly good the spell is. In certain scenarios, a lot of people end up running ×2 of certain runes, so a lot of people don't run Highlander, so this thing just slaps. Then you have Inhibit Power. This is one of KF's most prolific spells. It's just insanely good against UD or anything that doesn't have active cleanse. Just on a spell cast, this thing fucking shuts stuff down. And then for our relics, we have Catharsis Bloom, because again, there's no real dedicated healing outside of Avenging Angel, so we need some sort of way to regenerate our life. We have Cleansing Emerald for cleanse. We have our banner, obviously. Thorn Trap. Now, the interaction between Thorn Trap and Strategist is very good, because you can swap Strategist into a spot, and then pull something into a Thorn Trap. Typically, you want to hit 3 or more champions, but, if you do use it as a defensive tool versus an offensive tool, if you place this in, range of something that's going to be able to double tap you, once it enters the Thorn Trap, it will cut the cut the speed limit, so the AP cap goes down, which means that generally most champions will not be able to double tap after triggering this trap. So it is kind of a really good defensive measure, and it basically turns that champion off, having generally 3 to 4 speed and an AP cap of maybe 8 or 9. It's just an amazingly efficient, kind of debuff / offensive trap. We have Burning Oak Seed because there's not a lot of all damage. We have magic, electric, and physical generally. So this is just something that's really good. And on certain, maps, like the Underdepths map, you can literally walk across the lake of lava and gain health back. We have Centaur Banner. Just because this is a stupid good rune, it shuts down spells, it gives you spell breach, so all your things become faster after a spell cast. We have Covenant for just stacking range and giving a little bit more health to the archers. You could put this on Elven Fury, to give it more health, so it's just extra tanky. You could put this on Colossal Boa, you could put this on Condor Fury, you could even put it on Experimental War Spirit, because they all benefit from the plus range. The only thing that would not is the Centaur Savage in this battle group and the Avenging Angel. That generally wouldn't get any better. Just a nice stat bonus. We have Horn of Order for more power turn spells. This is just a good rune. I feel like it's overrated in some circumstances. Like, you could just drop this and run another Grimlock's Bane, because in essence they do the same thing. It's for finishing or for getting into a side font, but this is just something that enables you to kill something. So you could either run the more expensive option and gives you longevity in terms of how much you can use it, or you can just use another Grimlock's Bane for killing something one time and gaining you an advantage. We have Oaken Mace. It's a bit expensive, but it does give your archer a melee attack plus a stun, so again, factions that don't have cleanse, this is a good option. So that's the battle group, and we'll go into a game in the next recording. I have to switch out videos, so there'll be 2 videos for this. And yeah, thanks for looking at the battle group, and we'll get a game going soon.